And there, now we are on the ferry. But every now and then you just take one step, you feel it go a bit like, like that. Good morning and welcome back to day 3, part 2 of the Isle of Wight adventure. Currently we're making our way down to the coach for a bit of an island tour today. Go ahead and see where we're going, what's about the place and other various miscellaneous things. Let's go ahead and make our way down. And also here is the coach that is taking us places. This is the Van Hall something. I think it is the TX by the looks of things side, just over the edge. Up here you can go ahead and see it's got TX. I don't even know if you can see, you probably can't, but you can. Can't, but you can. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's how words work. But that is the coach that's taking us. It is being provided by Hunt's Coaches. We've travelled with them a lot. Sadly, still not sponsored by them. Seriously, please, it's been so long. But it is an absolutely beautiful day out here today. It is a lot less breezy. That or I'm just using the coach for cover. But it's a lot nicer today. There's a lot less breeze. There's also sunshine for once in the UK, which is stupidly rare if you happen to be around the UK. Well, technically, okay, bear with me on this one. We are in the UK, but technically we're not, because the Isle of Wight is British owned. Believe it or not, it is. We actually own something outside of the UK, hooray. But it's not connected, because we've got, well, that lot out there. So I'm in Britain and not at the same time, if that makes sense. But we're going to go ahead and actually explore the Isle of Wight today and see what's about. And also, I'm glad I can actually talk a bit more today without having to deal with wind noise, because yesterday was, well, it was something, let's just put it that way. And now we go from what you thought was going to be a bit of B-roll to a bit of A-roll. We're on the move. We're going through COWES currently. We are no longer on the move because somebody has decided to bring a couple of trucks down here just as we go to move. And so after we finally got moving again, we are now parked at the edge of the COWES. The coach is literally just over there. You can just about see it. But this is a Trinity landing, a bit of a harbour, a dock, whatever you want to call it. And all the way back out there, that little bit of coastline you can see is, I believe, the rest of mainland Britain, just out that way, which is actually pretty cool indeed. And it's nice to be actually off the mainland for once, because this is the first time I've actually been away from mainland Britain ever. And now here we are moving a little bit further down. We've actually got a pretty nice view of some of the buildings. I believe that is Osborne Court, I want to say, which is that building just all the way out there, which is pretty cool indeed. And the thing that is pretty cool is, well, cool depending on how you look at it, is where I'm standing is moving with the ocean. Oh boy, I've got to be so careful. It feels like the ferry all over again. Although saying that, the ferry was pretty cool back on Sunday. If you've not seen part 1 yet, I highly encourage you to go and watch that. And something else that's also pretty cool is this, Red Jets. Now, I think it's a bit of a sort of a boat, I guess, tourist service or ferry. I don't know, it doesn't look big enough to be a ferry, but it's actually pretty cool. I think it might have cafe, restaurant or something on board. But if anybody happens to know a little bit more about the whole Red Jet thing, go ahead and let me know in the comments, because I'm honestly genuinely curious. So after a little bit of walking around and one giant cookie, seriously, it was massive. If I remember, there'll be a photo up on screen probably around here or so. There's something driving out that way, so I'm going to stand here as to not get run over. But yeah, it is COWES High Street. There's also a little bit as you go further down. There's also a couple of rental vans. We've got Prime Drive and Enterprise, and thankfully none others, which means there's nothing else for me to get run over by. But going a bit further along, we've also got Vintage Marine to our right, and honestly a lot more, so let's go ahead and keep exploring. Adding to the cool cars list, which we've only just started this video, but trust me, there's quite a lot. We've got over here the cabriolet version of the Nissan 350Z, which is pretty cool, probably with a VQ engine. Hang on, move the camera up, there we go. Probably with a VQ engine, and I don't know if that one's turboed or not. I'd like to say it's NA because it doesn't look too modified, but then again, you never know what it could be under the bonnet.
Welcome to the Wight Donkey Sanctuary. What we'd normally do, if we knew you was coming, we would give you a guided tour, but we didn't expect you to. It's not a problem, you're more than welcome. So I'll just do a little introduction to let you know who we are, what we do, etc. So we are home to 114 donkeys, 15 ponies and 1 little mule.
Well, in an unexpected turn of events, we've gone from having a look around a really cool, nice old town to looking at donkeys. It's going to be interesting. There's a whole bunch of them over here. There's about 100 and I believe they said 116. You saw in the clip, but there's 2 over here. Just another 114 to find. We could be here quite some time. So there's a Fiat 500 here with a decal of a slightly older Fiat 500 on it. Does that technically make it a Fiat 1000? Well, after a lot of travelling about, we've gone from a donkey sanctuary back to Sandown, and again the breeze is back, so apologies for the wind noise. There's not much I can do about it. Blame the good old weather. Don't we just love doing that? Especially as the Brits, because we love complaining about everything. Anywho, moving swiftly on, we're going back down some steps here. Our hotel is just to the left. There's also a Premier Inn to the right, so if we come back, you never know, might be in there. But this goes on for quite a long time, but I did also pick up something cool, which I'll go over either tonight or at the start of tomorrow. But in the meantime, it's been a while since breakfast, getting hungry, time for some food. And so after all of that and the rather interesting choice of Spanish music with no Spanish guitar in sight, a little bit sad, here's a little bit of the haul of what I've got today. This whole thing from the LEGO Technic set 8440, which is going to be a little bit of a restoration project I'm hoping to make a YouTube short series on, so stay tuned for that. There's also this, the LEGO Technic forklift, which will also have its own little video. And of course down here, a little bit of a cash machine, because let's face it, I'm a YouTuber that does all their own stuff. I need that right now. Something else that's also missing a couple axles, so I'll have to dive through my LEGO storage to find it, is this whole thing right here. And because why not, a LEGO Dimensions Dalek to sit in our race car. Now what a team that would be. Good morning and welcome to day 4 of part 2. We're heading back down to breakfast now. At the moment we're currently also racing a lift because, you know, we haven't done that properly for a while yet, and it's taking till day 4, which I'm kind of surprised about. But we're going to go ahead and get ourselves to breakfast. But first, the end result. We beat the lift. Let's go. And something else which is actually pretty cool to know, which I probably should have said, is today is Jamaica themed. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what we've got throughout the rest of the day, what themed dinners we've got, because at the moment they've not quite put the menu up yet. Well, I would have continued the B-roll. We ended up in a little bit of a traffic jam stuck behind a fridge freezer installers. And now here's the thing. We've got a coach. We've also got ourselves a little bit of a delivery lorry. And behind us, all the way down there, is a double-decker bus. This could be about to get interesting. Well, latest update on the saga. The brakes lorry's over there, and we're currently losing to it. Oh, I'm sorry for your eardrums. Freedom! Let's go! So, after a rather interesting battle with pretty much every large vehicle on planet Earth, we've finally made it over to a place known as the Needles. It's quite breezy, so I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me okay, but there's a little bit of the Needles Visitor Centre and also the viewpoint which we're going to go out to next, and hopefully we might see something pretty cool indeed. So after a little bit of a quite rainy drive, we're now over here in a place called Newport. Now, I've not been here before, and it's not to be confused with the Newport that I believe is out in South Wales, but we're going to go ahead, jump into McDonald's for a bit, grab some food, and then go ahead and continue exploring about. In fact, there's a massive mountain warehouse there and various other shops too. Well, I don't know what that was, but that didn't sound good. Well, we did continue to have a little bit of a look around, then it absolutely started chucking it down, and everybody else that I'm with insisted that we go back to the coach. So that's what we're doing. So hopefully we might get a little bit more time in Sandown, which means I can go back to the shop that I got the car from yesterday to try and find some more pieces for it. Well, I hope at least. And so here we are now once again racing a lift back up. This time we've got ourselves a balloon in tow. It's in my pocket, so hopefully we'll get to see that when we get to the top. Let's go ahead and see if we can indeed beat the lift up there. We have had a little bit of a interesting dinner. It was based on Jamaican food tonight, and I'm not exactly the most Jamaican food fan, so oh well. We've also gone ahead and beaten the lift here, which is pretty cool, and as promised, balloon. Well, I might have taken a couple of extra hours and it ended up being tomorrow, but I guess that is day 4 and part 2 of this little venture. I'm trying to be as quiet as I can because people are literally sleeping right next to me, but I guess I'll see you all in part 3, day 5, and probably a very, very damp place called Ryde. Right, see you tomorrow. Well, good morning everybody. We are back in the wonderful little sketchy stairway. We've got our coach here that we're going to be getting on and going into a place called Ryde. Moving a little further down, there is that pretty cool looking Volkswagen van. I mean, just look at how awesome that thing looks. And so, after a bunch of walking around, we have found ourselves indeed the Solent Flyer hovercraft.